Alice sat by the river with her sister. The book was boring. It had no pictures and no talking. She looked at the book and thought, why read a book with no pictures or talking? She thought about making a daisy chain, but picking flowers felt like too much work. She felt sleepy. Then a white rabbit with pink eyes ran past her in the grass. "Oh, dear, I am late," said the rabbit. At first, Alice did not think it was very strange. Then the rabbit took a watch from his coat pocket. Alice was awake and very curious. Alice had never seen a rabbit with a pocket and a watch. She jumped up and ran after him. The rabbit ran under a hedge and jumped into a big hole. He did it like it was normal. Alice did not stop to think how she would get out. She followed him down the hole. The hole went down like a tunnel. Alice fell into a very deep well. The well was very deep, or Alice fell very slowly. She had time to look around. There were cupboards, bookshelves, maps, and pictures on the walls. It was like a room on its side. Alice took a jar from a shelf. It said orange marmalade, but the jar was empty. She did not want to drop the jar, so as she fell, she put it on another shelf. After this, stairs would be easy, Alice thought. She felt proud of herself. Down, down, down she went. Alice wondered if she was falling to the center of the earth. Latitude and longitude, she said. She did not really know these words, but they sounded big. Maybe she would fall through the earth. Maybe she would meet people who walked upside down. Is this New Zealand or Australia? Alice wondered. She tried to bow in the air and laughed. Then she thought of Dinah, her cat. She hoped someone would give Dinah milk at tea time. There were no mice in the air, but Alice wondered if Dinah could catch a bat. Do cats eat bats? Do bats eat cats? Alice got sleepier and sleepier. Suddenly, bump, then bump again. Alice landed on dry leaves and small sticks. She was not hurt. She jumped up. She looked up, but she saw only darkness. In front of her was a long hall. Far away, she saw the white rabbit run around the corner. Alice followed the voice. "Oh, my ears and whiskers. I am so late." Then she turned the corner. Then the rabbit was gone. Alice was alone in a long, low hall. Many lamps hung from the ceiling. They made a soft, strange light in the hall. Alice tried each door. Every door was locked. She could not find a way out. Nothing would open. Alice felt small and lonely. She wondered how to get outside. Then she saw a small glass table in the middle of the hall. On the table was a small golden key. Alice was sure it opened one of the doors. But the key was too small for some doors. It was the wrong shape for others. No door opened. Alice looked again. She saw a low curtain by the wall, hidden in the dark. Behind it was a little door. It was only about 15 inches high. She tried the golden key. It fit. The little door opened without a sound. Past the door was a narrow way to a beautiful garden. It had bright flowers and cool fountains. Alice wanted to go into the garden, but even her head was too big for the door. I wish I could fold up like a telescope, she thought. She felt there must be a way. So many strange things had happened. Alice thought very few things were impossible now. Waiting did not help. Alice went back to the table to look for another key or a helpful book. To her surprise, a small bottle was on the table. She was sure it had not been there before. A paper label was on the bottle. It said, "Drink me," but Alice did not drink it once. First, Alice checked the bottle for the word poison. She remembered this from stories. It did not say poison. So Alice was brave and drank a little. It tasted like cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roast turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast all together. It was so good that Alice drank the whole little bottle. She drank every drop. "What a strange feeling," cried Alice. She began to fold up like a small telescope. Soon she was only 10 inches tall. She was just the right size for the little door. At first she was happy. Then she worried she might get smaller and go out like a candle flame. She waited, but nothing more happened, so Alice decided to go into the garden. At the door, she remembered the golden key. She had left it on top of the glass table. She went back. The table was like a mountain above her. The key shone far away. Alice tried to climb the table leg, but it was smooth and slippery. She slid down again. She tried many times. Then she got tired, sat on the floor, and began to cry. Crying will not help, Alice told herself, but it was very hard to stop the tears. Alice often played that she was two people, but now she felt hardly big enough for one. Then she saw a small glass box under the table. It was almost hidden. Inside was a tiny cake. On it were the words, "Eat me," made with currants. "If it makes me grow, I can reach the key. If it makes me smaller, I can go under the door," thought Alice. She took one tiny bite of the cake. Then she put a hand on her head to feel what would happen. "Which way? Which way?" she whispered. She waited to see if she would grow or shrink. To her surprise, her size did not change at all. Usually this would be normal. But Alice now thought food or drink in this place would change her in some way. Still, Alice did not give up. The garden was waiting. She wanted to try everything to reach it. So she ate the little cake, bite by bite, until no crumb was left. The hall was quiet. Only the lamps moved in the light. The key, the door, and the garden seemed to wait. Alice held her breath. No one knew what would happen to her next. The riverbank, the white rabbit, the deep well, and the bright garden all turned in Alice's mind. Past the tiny door, the garden shone brightly. It almost seemed to call Alice's name. High above her, the golden key shone on the glass table. The answer seemed just out of reach. Alice's long day had only just begun. Ahead, the door to Wonderland was quietly opening.